Good morning, childrens. How are you? I think all of you fine now. Okay. Today I am going to study about climate. The third lesson. What is the name of the lesson? Climate. Do you know, childrens? What is the difference between weather and climate? These are the common words you use in daily life now. So the climate today is very hot. The climate today, the weather is very cool. So in the morning there is a very hot. In the night the weather is very cool. No, these are all the common words used in our daily life. So in this lesson we learn about the difference between the weather and climate, and also which climates you like, which climates you like most. So you have watched the weather forecast on the television. So what is it? All of you know the in the television the forecast today is very hot. There is a in some coastal area there is a some rains occur, and in some area there is a hot in for the temperature is very high. The pressure in the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea is very low. So these are all the important forecast in our television. All of you, I think all of you watch this news in the television. So in this lesson we learn about the what is weather, what is climate. Understood? What are the important factors influence on climate? So and also we learn in detail about the factors of the which are the factors influencing the climate. Understood? Now let us start the lesson. So childrens, there are constant changes in the temperature that surrounds the earth. No, the changes in particular area make up the weather of a place. That means, what is weather? Weather is just a state of the atmosphere at any time, including things such as temperature, precipitation, air pressure, cloud cover. In daily changes in the weather are clue to winds and storm. Seasonal changes are due to the earth revolving around the sun. Weather affects us in many ways. For example, we choose our clothes according to the weather. Weather also affects our daily activities. Understood? What is weather? Weather is different condition of a atmosphere is given place at a given time. What is weather? It is a atmospheric condition of a given place or given time. So, have you ever noticed the weather report in a daily newspaper? No. It includes the weather condition of a day, that is sunrise, sunset, temperature, that is maximum or minimum, the range of temperature, that is a difference between maximum and minimum temperature, the air pressure and humidity. So understood? These are all the temporary state of atmospheric condition. Weather means that is the temporary state of atmospheric condition. It may change in few hours or a few days. Wind, sun rays, temperature, humidity, rain determine the weather of particular place at a particular time. That means weather andre ಒಂದು change. Weather means that is the ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಎ ಗಿವನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸಿನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಬದಲಾಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಿಸಿಲಿತ್ತು. ಸಂಜೆ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು, ತುಂಬ ತಣ್ಣಗಿತ್ತು. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಮಳೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಮಳೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆದರ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟೂಡ್? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟೂಡ್? ವೆದರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಅವರ್ಸ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಮಳೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಹಂಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟೂಡ್? ಸೊ ಫುಲ್ ಡೇ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಟುಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ತುಂಬ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬಿಸಿಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಿಸಿಲಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೆಂಪ್ರವರಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್. ದ ಟೆಂಪ್ರವರಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆದರ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟೂಡ್? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟೂಡ್? ಸೊ but what is climate? Climate may be defined as, what is climate? climate is a average weather usually taken over 30 years over a 30-year time period for a particular region and time period. Climate is not a same as weather, but rather it is the average pattern of the weather for particular region. Weather describe the short term of state of the atmosphere. Understood? So there is a lot of difference between climate and weather. Weather is a temporary change. Understood? But climate is not a temporary change. It is a average of weather condition of a place or a area. Climate generally does not change for 30 or 40 years. Climate may be hot, cold, dry, wet. It is a necessary that is a remains the same throughout the year. Climate andre for example in Himalaya ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ವರ್ಷ ಪೂರ್ತಿ they are very cold, no? The coldness is not change time to time. In a desert, for example in Rajasthan, there is a hot weather, hot climate. Throughout the year, there are so many years, it always be hot, very hot. The rain is very scanty. So that is climate. Understood? That the average of weather condition in a place or a area generally does not change for 30 to 40 years. The weather is not change for 30 to 40 years. Whatever it may be, hot, cold, dry, wet. Understood? This is called weather. Understood? So, for example, in climate of Himalayan ranges is cold, no? It's always cold. It is a very cold during the most month of the year. The climate in and around Chennai is warm and humid, whereas it is hot and dry in the third desert. This is the difference. Different places in the world would have different types of climate. In some places sunny, cloudy, stormy, snow, rainy, wind. Understood? These are all the different places in different types of climate. Now children, understood what is the difference between weather and climate? Weather is the condition of atmosphere at a particular place or time. Climate is the average weather condition of the place over a long period of time. Understood? That is the difference between weather and climate. Now, next let us know about which are the factors influencing the climate. There are a lot of factors influence our climate. That is latitudes and sunlight. Understood? Already you learn about what is latitude, what is glow, what is latitudes, what are longitudes. Understood? So these are the important imaginary lines. So the latitudes also and sunlight also influence on the climate. You know that children, Earth receive all its heat from the sun. No? In the picture given alongside. Alongside you will notice that equator being nearer to the sun. Understood? Equator, it is a near to the sun. Understood? So sun and the poles are most far away from the sun. So the equator near to the sun than the poles for most part of the year receive the more sunlight. Equator receive the more sunlight because it is near to the sun. The direct heat makes the area between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn on the southern hemisphere hottest region in the world. Which are the hottest region in the world? The area between the equator. That means Tropic of Cancer in northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn in southern hemisphere, because these places are very near to the sun. So the sun rays directly fall on this region. So these areas are hottest regions in the world. Understood? The latitude and sunlights are very important to effects on climate. Which places are near to the latitude or sun? They are very hottest places. So that means the between the area between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Understood? Now southern northern hemisphere Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn in southern hemisphere. Next, also the altitude is also influence on the climate. Altitude means height. The location of the place, higher altitude have coldest temperature. Temperature usually decreases by 1 degree Celsius for every 100 meters in altitude. Altitude means the height of the place. The place, how much the place located, which altitude, ಎಷ್ಟು ಎತ್ತರದಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆ place. That is also very important to influence on climate. Understood? So distance from the sea. The distance from the distance from the sea is also one of the important factor influence on climate. The oceans heat up and cool down much more slowly than land. Understood? That is the main feature of oceans. Oceans means oceans heat up very early and cool down also very slowly. Nodi, oceans heat up and cool down much more slowly than land. When you compare to the land, the oceans heat up and cool down are very much slow. This means the coastal locations tend to the cooler in summer, warmer in winter than places inland at the same latitude and altitude. Chennai, Kolkata, Visakhapatnam, Mumbai are coastal sites. So coastal cities in our country, they have very moderate climate because they are. On the other hand, cities like Delhi, Patna, Jaipur, Hyderabad are away from the sea. So the places experience extreme type of climate. Understood? In this place, summer is very hot and winter is very cold. So oceans also very important role in the climatic factors. So ocean currents also. Ocean currents means winds, horizontal winds on oceans. In Britain has the maritime climate. A warm ocean current called the North Atlantic Drift keeps the Britain warmer and wetter than the places in continental Europe. Ocean currents also very influence on the place. Prevailing winds. What type of winds is the effects on climate? The prevailing wind is the most frequent wind direction a location experience. Britain, the prevailing wind is from the southwest, which brings warm, understood, moist air from the Atlantic Ocean. This contribute to the frequent rainfall. When prevailing winds blow on land area, it is a contribute to the creating the desert climate. Understood? The prevailing winds also very important role in the place in the climate. So for example, Britain has a prevailing wind from which direction? Southwest, which brings the warm and moist air from where? From it blow from Atlantic Ocean. So it is a frequent, it contributes to the frequent rainfall. Understood? The global distribution of the climate. The climates are influenced by many factors such as proximity of the equator or the poles and proximity to the sea, as well as things like ocean currents, atmospheric pressure belts and prevailing winds. The place climate influence of the types of the vegetation and animals that live there. Understood? A place climate influence the type of vegetation, the animals that live there. It is possible to divide the world into number of climatic zones and biomes, each with their own characteristic climate, vegetation and wildlife. Understood? So humidity. Humidity is a presence of moisture in the air. What is humidity? Humidity is the presence of moisture air in the air. The air content in the water content in the air is called humidity. Thus the degree of humidity is a place is related to the distance from the sea. Wind blowing over the sea collect the moisture and make the climate in the coastal area very humid, and humid make you sweat a great deal. Understood? So these are all the important points influence on the climate. Understood? So latitude and sunlight, altitude or height above the sea, distance from the sea, ocean currents, prevailing winds. These are all the important factors effects on climate. Altitude, distance from the equator means altitude. latitudes, altitudes, distance from the sea, and distance from direction of the wind, humidity, ocean currents. These are all the important factors influence on climate. Understood? So, what do you learn today? Once again, we recall the lesson. What is weather? Weather is the atmospheric condition of a place for a short period. It changes frequently. Understood? Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular place and time. It changes frequently. What is climate? Climate is the average weather condition of the place over a long period of time. Understood? So, nearly 30 to 40 years. There are many factors influence on climate. The further we from the equator, the further we are from the equator, the colder the climate. The altitude of the place also affect the climate. Places also close to the sea have moderate type of climate. Winds and the amount of humidity in the air affect the climate of a place. Understood? These are all the important things. Now children, now learn about the answer the following. What is difference between weather and climate? You know the children answer. Already I explained what is weather and climate. No, what is the difference between weather and climate? Weather is condition of atmosphere at a particular place and time. Climate is the average weather condition of the place over a long period of a time. How does the climate affect the people living there? Climate affects the humans live in many aspects including social, economical, physical, ecological spheres. Climate affect the on farming, water resource. It also affect the health of the people living in there. So climate is very important thing. It affects not only physical and economical aspects, it also affects on farming and water resource and also health of the people. Understood? Next, the third question. What is the third question? Name the 5 important factors that determine the climate of the place. Which are the 5 important factors? Latitude and sunlight, altitude or height above the sea level, distance from the sea, ocean currents, prevailing winds. Understood? Next, explain how the nearness to sea influence the climate of a place. The sea affects the climate of a place. Coastal areas are cooler and wetter than the inland areas. Clouds from when warm air from the inland areas meets cool air from the sea. In the summer, temperature can be very hot and dry as moisture from the sea evaporate before it reaches the center of the landmass. Thus, in this way, nearness of the sea influences the climate of a place. So, nearness of the sea is also very important. Understood? What is humidity? Humidity is the presence of moisture in the air. Understood? What is humidity? Humidity is the presence of moisture in the air. To what extent does altitude influence the climate? The altitude means height. Altitude also influence climate of the place. Location of the higher altitude have the colder temperature. Temperature usually decreases by 1 degree Celsius for every 100 meters in altitude. Understood? So these are all the important terms, important questions you learn in this lesson. Understood? I think all of you understand about this lesson. So in the next class I will give the question answer. Understood? Okay. Take care. Thank you. Bye.